Hey, welcome back, everybody, and thank you for making time for the boys today. My name's Evan Hambrick.
You got it right. I'm so proud.
Thank you. The man who's who's congratulating me right now is my co-host, Zach.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. So tonight, it's Halloween.
It is. We're going to be posting a late Halloween episode because we're recording on Halloween.
Yeah,
We're on
Zach,
our A game.
exactly. We need to have a Halloween intro for this.
Yeah? Yeah, you
Yeah,
want me to... I'll do it myself. I'll break out my kazoo and do, like,
dude, nice.
just some crazy stuff.
I'll break out my trumpet.
Yeah?
I haven't played that in like a year, 2 years at this point. I'll play you some tunes.
God, you can just play... You definitely don't still have it because I know I don't have it. But do you remember... I think it was our 8th grade year or freshman year when we played... the theme from A Nightmare Before Christmas. SP wrote that.
I do remember that.
Yeah, we'll break that out.
Hell yeah.
Because, basically tomorrow, that's when Christmas music starts.
That is true. I've seen that there's already like graphs showing how like people are listening to Christmas music.
Yeah, someone's already looked up Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, my roommate last year in college, his name's Joe. We like Halloween, I was on campus for Halloween. Literally the very next day, I come back from like lunch or something, and what do I find? Joe's just sitting there in the room blasting Christmas music. And I'm like, what is going on? He's like, we're past Halloween now. It's officially Christmas.
Dude, I like the cut of Joe's jib. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm a Christmas man, dude.
Bro, I can't really push the Christmas envelope until we're past Thanksgiving. Now, to be fair, I get the argument if people say Thanksgiving isn't really a real holiday because we just eat.
Yeah. But it's to celebrate that time we killed those Indians.
Yeah, and also football.
Yeah.
This all that matters. We get a little food, a little football. Pigskin is all that matters on in November. So
But in celebration for this Halloween holiday, I have done literally nothing. But you, Zach, what have you done?
well, this may be surprising for you to find out, but I watched The Shining for the very first time today,
Yeah.
and you know I know in the past we've kind of discussed what I expected how I would react to seeing The Shining,
Right.
and I was right. I thought that it was like I can understand why it's so highly regarded, and like I enjoyed it, but it doesn't live up to what the book was, at least
I
for me.
figured. I figured. It's
And
such a different. It's so different from the book, from what I've heard.
right, well, I saw this Stephen King quote in regard to the movie, and he basically said the movie is like a sports car on the outside, but with nothing on the inside. You know,
Damn.
um, and I kind of have to agree. Like, I think cinematically speaking, especially for the time, I mean, we're talking tracking shots, a bunch of cool imagery that they play with. I mean, the camera work is stellar. And also, I mean, come on, Jack Nicholson is the perfect Jack Torrance. I
Right.
mean, honestly, for the whole movie, I feel like the casting is pretty spot on. Like, I'm very pleased with how they did the cast for that movie. But, watching it, it's exactly the problem I've talked to you about in the past, where watching it now, I truly do feel like they just don't set up Jack's, like how he devolves into his
Right.
insanity. Like, it's there, but in the book they do a really good job of kind of setting up this fact that, like, at his core Jack Torrance is like he's a loving father. It's just that he has some anger issues that he has to work out, and he was a drunk. But like the whole reason he takes the job at the Overlook Hotel is kind of so that he can show his like his wife and son, that he can be better. Sure, he wants to write that novel. That's like a big part of like the isolation factor. That's why he's so okay with it. But at the same time, like he's trying to show that like he's not the drunk, that they have him pegged as, that
Right.
he can be the good father and he can, check all the boxes that need checked.
But from what it's been a long time since I've seen The Shining, but I have to say I do think what they sacrifice in terms of perhaps the deeper character motives and I guess the characterization in general, I think they do get really right in just the horror aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It just because there's like something just so creepy and terrifying when because like you said he's writing that novel and then his wife goes down to see what he's actually written and it's just the same sentence over and
Right.
over.
All
It's just
work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
and it's just like, oh my God, this guy is fucking lost it.
You know, in the book, it's really interesting to see like how the process of him writing the novel goes, because he kind of goes in with some ideas for just like, I'm pretty sure it's just like generic novel ideas. But then the longer he's at the hotel, he kind of decides that he wants to write about specifically the hotel and stuff that happened in the hotel.
Hmm.
And then, as we get right towards like the climax moment of the movie, that's when you get the like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy moment.
Right.
um I don't know, and I get that like this is going to be a problem with any book adaptation, because you can't, there's no way you can fit a full size book like that. I mean, Stephen King books are so long as it is, and I'm pretty sure that one's like 600 pages.
Yeah.
So, I mean, taking 2 hours and 10 minutes and putting in everything in that book is impossible. And, I'm not really saying everything that's in the book needs to be in the movie, because I appreciated a lot about um, specifically what they get right about kind of Jack's mannerisms. And I mean, credit to um, what's his name?
Kubrick.
Jack Nicholson. That's what I
Oh,
was going for. And just his raw acting chops. I mean, he really sells every moment he's in. Um,
right. We've heard some of the stuff about how they directed those scenes, right? Because apparently they just did them over and over and over.
I had saw that, specifically the scene on the stairs where she's
Yeah.
walking backwards with the bat. It was interesting to watch it. Um, Not going in with the mindset that it was like I'm pretty sure it's a 70s movie,
Yeah.
70s or 80s, because you sit through some of the dialogue and stuff, and it's not really crisp like you might expect. And I kind of had to like put a mental note that like this is something I just kind of have to forgive, because this isn't like, we're not talking 2020 movies, we're talking
Right.
movies
Now
from the 70s.
when you say crisp, you mean like can't understand it or
No, like the flow of dialogue isn't exactly, delivery feels a little stiff
hmm.
sometimes.
Hmm.
So, but then again, Stanley Kubrick could have kind of been going for that to kind
Right.
of help the unsettling atmosphere, because I mean, it definitely gets the atmosphere right, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's also interesting to me that the actual The Shining, which is like such a big part of the novel, and what like Danny has is his shine ability,
Right.
is really kind
It's
of a
downplayed.
small part. Yeah,
Yeah, because like the he doesn't Danny, if I remember, Danny does some stuff, but he for the most part is kind of inconsequential
yeah.
to it.
Well, really, the main character of the movie is Jack.
Yeah, because it's all about his like descent
Right.
really, and then there's like some supernatural stuff going on 100%, but Danny's role in it is not. I mean, he rides. I mean, he sees some stuff sometimes. He
He rides
says
his bike. He rides his little
exactly.
trike around the hotel
He says red rum.
like
Uh,
1,000 times.
like 1,000 times, and he somehow I think does he communicate with the black guy?
Yeah, yeah. He communicates with Dick Halloran, um,
Yeah,
who I gotta say, from the books, is one of my favorite characters in any Stephen King novel. He's
really.
just a super fun guy. So I was sad to see that he actually gets killed off in the
Yeah,
movie, because in the book he survives.
really. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
because in the book, I think I've told you this before, but what happens is that at the end of the story, similar to the movie, Dick Halloran shows up as like Jack is attacking Wendy, um, and him showing up inadvertently saves Wendy's life.
Hmm.
And he does still get attacked by Jack and kind of gravely injured, but while Jack is chasing Danny, Wendy, who is also injured, I believe, helps like stabilize Dick's wound, and then they get out of the hotel. Um, and what ends up happening is Danny and Jack end up in the boiler room, and kind of a running thing throughout the whole book is that like one of the most important jobs that Jack has to do as he's caretaking the hotel is manage the boiler, because if he doesn't manage it properly, it could explode, and obviously that's not a good thing for the hotel. So
Yeah.
kind of in the closing moments of the book, what happens is Jack, because of his love for his son and because it's so powerful, he's able to break free of the hold of the hotel long enough to like have Danny escape with Wendy and Dick, and then he allows the boiler to overheat and explode, and it destroys the entire hotel.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
This seems to be more of like a fulfilling ending,
yeah,
at least for like Jack.
especially when you look at like Stephen King's other endings, it's an actual ending,
Right. Yeah.
um, which is much less to say about the movie, because the movie just ends with like, oh, Jack froze to death and they escaped, but Jack's soul is in the hotel. Yeah,
Right, because it pans over and he's like in the hotel's picture,
yeah, yeah.
which that probably has more of a I don't know what the word to use is. It doesn't. It's definitely an ending that's more mysterious and a bit
Hmm.
creepy.
Yeah.
Uh, like,
It
is it
it makes me
like?
want to see Doctor Sleep because of the fact that they actually go back to the hotel. Because there's a lot that could be played with the fact that Jack's soul is still inhabiting the hotel.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know. I'm gonna watch it at some point, probably soon. Now that I've actually seen The Shining.
Did it get? Because it's already been released, right? So like,
Yeah, yeah. It has Obi-Wan Kenobi in it.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, how was the reception? Did people like it?
It was positive. It
Really?
was mostly positive, yeah. I don't think anyone thought it was like groundbreaking or anything, but people generally thought it was good. So, and this may be like a hot take for people who like Stephen King, but I think Doctor Sleep might be better than The Shining.
Dang,
Yeah,
dude.
like I'm especially impressed because he wrote it in like 2012. So, it'd been a long time since he'd actually touched anything related to The Shining.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
but it's good. I really enjoyed it.
When are they coming out with Ghostbusters 3?
Is that now? Are you talking like actual Ghostbusters 3 with the right cast, the correct cast?
Yeah,
I don't know. Has there been any movement on that?
because I know they showed off that trailer. Yeah, Ghostbusters
Oh, you're
Afterlife.
right. You're right. They definitely did. Because doesn't it have
It's got some of the kids from what's that show called?
a Stranger Thing? It has Paul Rudd. That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Because oh man, it brings back Dan Aykroyd. That's all that matters. I'm sold.
It's
Done
coming out.
deal.
It's coming out June 11th, 2021. That's when it's coming out.
Well, assuming you know,
Right.
yeah. You think they would just take this chance to push it back till Halloween of next year?
Right, because that wouldn't that be a bit more fitting? But I guess
Yeah,
they want to do it. This sounds like a corporate decision. More
yeah.
people are free during the summer, so they'll do it then.
I mean, corporate decisions. We hashed this when talking about the Monster Hunter trailer,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's you think it would be smart to release it during Halloween, but then again, you're right. Like people are going to be more free and
sure,
this that, and
sure.
the other.
I just want them to get this out of the way so we can finally get the Ghostbusters 2 uh from the women
Yeah,
Ghostbusters.
you're from the all female SNL cast.
Exactly.
That's
SNL
why
Ghostbusters too.
that's why that was so funny. That's why it
That's
was
why it
such
was.
a
Well,
hilarious movie.
it's why it was such a success.
Yeah, yeah. And it had a boy toy Chris Hemsworth in the role.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, you know.
It was great. It made it made so much money.
Have you actually seen it?
No, fuck
No,
no.
I haven't either. Maybe we'll
I,
have to
s-
watch it together at some
I'd
point.
fucking kill myself. I'd be down. I'd actually be kind of down with that just to see how fucking shit it is.
Well,
I
listen,
saw.
if we've sat through Cats, we can sit through just about anything at
Oh
this
my
point.
god, you're not wrong. Fucking hell. Uh, I saw Plinkett's review of it, the Red Letter Media review of Ghostbusters the remake, which is pretty good. But that's about as far as I'm willing, as I touched it.
Yeah, I think no. I was gonna say I thought maybe Critical reviewed it for the Moist Meter, but
Did he?
I don't know. I feel like it's a lie now that I actually say it. Maybe he did, but I don't think I actually watched it.
Right. I
I know.
wouldn't be
I just heard it
surprised.
was bad, and that's all I need.
Yeah. Well, you could tell it's bad.
Yeah. Well.
You don't need
Yeah.
someone to tell you. You could tell. I God, I knew it when they killed off fucking Bill Murray.
Did they? Is that what happens? They kill off Bill Murray,
Yeah.
but he's in the new one.
Okay, so what they do in the remake is that they essentially make it to where the Ghostbusters have never existed until the women come along. But they still get the old actors to come in to, have as cameos for new roles. So Bill Murray, you know how in the first Ghostbusters movie you had I forget his name, but he was the kind of like the ginger kind of guy who was always trying to get the Ghostbusters arrested.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
him?
I know what you're talking about.
Peck. Uh, he becomes the Peck for the remake, and because he's like, you guys aren't really busting ghosts, you're frauds. So they try to prove him wrong,
And he was
and then
damn right.
yeah, they were frauds. But they release a ghost for no to prove him wrong, even though that's really stupid and dangerous. And
Right.
the ghost kills him and throws him out a window.
Oh,
So yeah, that's what they do to Bill Murray.
I'm just saying the only acceptable death of Bill Murray is in the original Zombieland movie.
That was
That's
yeah,
yeah.
that was good.
So I don't know, Evan. Have you like in the past? Do you feel like you have any like movies that you directly associate with Halloween?
God, I don't know, because I've never been like a super Halloween guy.
Right.
I think okay, maybe Monster House.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a throwback.
I know,
You
right?
you sent me back for a second.
I know.
I tell you, when that movie first came out, it actually scared me. Like I
Really.
remember parts of it. What it was I had the Monster Hunter PS2 game, and
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at it. But then I watched it, and it was just something about the combination of the old man who lived in it and the fact that it like you watch it eat someone at some point. I
Right.
wasn't feeling it.
I had the Game Boy game
Oh
of the Monster House. I
yeah,
thought that was pretty fun. I like that movie quite a bit. I
yeah.
also remember Scary Godmother.
Oh that yes. I'll tell you what it is. It's because we're Cartoon Network boys.
We are.
That's how we have this stuff.
Well, that's back when Cartoon Network was the shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
literally, because they put that on every Halloween, and I watched the shit out of that.
God, I think they made two of those.
They did. They did.
Yeah, God.
How did you
So
remember the blonde kid who wore the devil pajamas?
yeah, the devil pajamas. Yeah, Jesus, that's crazy. What?
No.
Because my answer to that was just going to be like the movie that sticks out to me the most is The Conjuring because I watched it last year on Halloween while at
Hmm.
college because it was just like, oh well, we gotta watch something scary since it's
Right.
Halloween, you know.
Nah. Fuck that. I
Scary
watch.
Godmother all
I
day, every
wa-
day.
I watch Scary Godmother because that's the real shit right there.
You know, I think for me it's just I'm not a big fan of horror movies.
Right.
I think I'm more interested. I have like a morbid curiosity with everything horror movies, but I don't actually want to watch any of them.
Right. I'm not. I've never been a big horror guy, and that was part of that was because when I was younger, they just used to scare me a lot. I didn't want to be
Hmm.
involved with them. But then after I got over that, even afterwards, I'm just not. I can watch them, and they're interesting. But the only ones that have really affected me are like Hereditary,
Right.
which was just like, oh shit.
We know the problem with so many horror movies is just the fact that there's so many of them. There's such a large population that are just gimmicky.
Yeah, yeah,
Like oh, we're gonna hit you with a bunch of jump scares. That's
yeah.
all we're
They're
gonna
just
have.
rather predictable, and like and even the ones, because like there's not a lot of scary, like actually scary horror movies
Right.
in my opinion. Like Heredity's probably one I would say, and there were probably others. I'm just not too knowledgeable about the
The
genre.
genre. Yeah.
But like they're either like the only other ones that are popular are just fun horror movies,
Yeah.
like Halloween or
Well,
Friday 13th.
that's the thing. Like, I feel like slashers. It's hard for me to consider slashers horror movies because I agree with you that they're kind of fun. You know,
Right, right.
like when I think of slasher movies, I think of like Scream, and like all the Scream movies are fun.
Yeah.
So
But like I guess you would have to, because like what else do you put them under? I mean, I feel
right,
like slasher is like a subgenre of just like horror.
right, yeah. I mean, you're right. I don't know, and I think I'm trying to think of scary movies I've actually seen
Did
because I
did
thought
Blair
that
Witch get you?
no, um, but I think if I had been like if we had been around when the movie first came out, then I
Yeah,
think it would have got us.
that's yeah.
Because
I
I
agree.
think a big part of what makes that movie so effective is the fact that they had such an elaborate marketing campaign
Right. Yeah, well,
beforehand.
and it was also like the first one of its kind.
Right,
Made it
right,
a bit more believable. Now Blair Witch is so iconic that it's not even that scary anymore because we all know the thing about it.
right. And I mean, another thing about it is you literally don't see anything throughout the whole
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I think that's kind of good and bad because it's good because I think it helps build up tension.
right,
Because, like, you know, I think the idea of something scary happening is sometimes better than something scary actually happening, if that makes any sense.
yeah.
Like the idea, like almost like the idea that there's something behind you can sometimes be more effective than actually showing it.
Mhm,
I think Babadook did that to a good degree.
right,
Uh, so I like that aspect of it, but I do agree that I think it doesn't. I think nowadays, if you were to like just watch it, already knowing what's kind of, you already know it's not real. You already seen like you maybe you've seen Paranormal Activity, which does a
right,
lot of the same stuff. Having it just be them walking around the woods can be rather boring.
right. And I don't know, it'll always be memorialized as like the low budget movie that did it first and did it so well.
Yeah,
Um, and I respect it a lot for that, but I just thought it was an okay movie all in all,
right.
But I thought The Conjuring was fairly scary at times. Like it got me, but it was more like the jump scare kind of got me than like the
Mhm.
unsettling kind, which I mean, there are pros and cons to that because I mean, props to it that I wasn't able to predict what was coming because a lot of the times I'll end up like watching some horror movie and I'll just like see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I've always been more into like horror games rather than
Right.
horror movies because I think those have been there are a lot of really good horror games.
Hmm.
I'm a huge fan of the Dead Space. I don't want to say, well, I will say series, but I do think it does get less scary as it goes along.
Hmm.
I told you the story about my first, because that Dead Space was like my first horror game, basically.
I don't think I've heard this story.
So my dad wanted to get me a video game, and he doesn't know anything really about video games or even what to get me. So he just got me Dead Space 2, and I was like a kid. I don't even
Right.
know if I was in, I don't know how old I was.
Homies in diapers out here playing Dead Space 2.
I was pretty young though, and I'd never played a horror game before. And I just like looking at it, I was like, this seems different. And I looked at the back and I read about it, and it kind of terrified me to even start playing because it was talking about how fucking dark it was and how these zombie fucks are gonna pop out of the darkness and kill you. And it's like, oh my God. That's and you're gonna be alone on this space station. It's like Jesus, this sounds terrifying.
Hmm.
But I pop it in. It's late at night. I'm in my basement.
Oh, well, that's already a wonderful combo for you.
I know I'm in the basement and like I keep and as I put it in, as I'm playing it, I am like checking behind me because there's like this big, because there's this big dark space. Because for those who don't know, my basement's pretty big, and I basically when I was younger, I had a TV and a few couches and like a rug, just kind of spaced in a put in in a small square on one end of the wall. The
Yeah,
rest of the basement was basically just unused and was in total darkness. So I have this one small area in the basement where I play my games, and I'm just like checking behind me in the like fucking darkness to see if anything's popping up back there. And
yeah.
so I put it in. If you've never played Dead Space, I'm
No,
assuming.
I've watched people play it, but not like all the way through or anything.
Well, in the beginning of Dead Space 2, well, first even on the title screen, fucking horrifying because it's all this fucked up because it's like the title screen or the main menu, better to say, is basically just like it shows the marker, which is this big, huge, creepy religious statue, and then a bunch of random gibberish flying across the screen, and all you hear are like whispers coming out of the
Yeah,
speaker. That was already like, oh god. Then I start playing the game, and you start with the main character having this like psych evaluation, and during the psych evaluation, your dead girlfriend crawls up on the desk. You hallucinate your dead girlfriend crawling up on the desk, and the camera zooming in as her fucking eyes and mouth start glowing, and she starts screaming in your fucking face.
nice.
So that was I was like, oh God, stop. But the kicker for me was after that scene where that there's like the fucking zombie outbreak happens and you're stuck in your fucking straitjacket
Hmm.
and you have to basically run past all of these creepy, fucked up zombie people, and some dude dies in front of you and turns into a zombie. And they have a scripted event where you try to dive under a door and you have to basically mash the A button.
Yeah.
I was too scared to see that, to see the A button. So I eventually, every time is that I would piss my pants running through this hallway, dive under the door, and then the fucking zombie would kill me. And then I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
It was fucking horrifying.
you
But
know,
that, go on.
I was you finish your thought because I'm kind of I was gonna jump into like my horror game experience.
Well,
So
I was gonna say it was also the reason I hold Space 2 close to my heart, even though people probably would say Dead Space 1 is scarier, is because that was also kind of what got me in to horror games. Because
right,
eventually, over the like next few days or weeks, or because I didn't touch it for a bit, but when I got back into it, I eventually, while I was scared, I eventually began. It was like kind of this experience of like, you know what, fuck these guys, because you could kill them. So I
right.
kind of got into it. Whenever I got scared in the game, I just like, yeah, fuck these guys. I'm pissed now. I'm
Hmm.
pissed because they made me scared, so I'm gonna kill them. That was kind of like the mentality, and with through that, I stopped being scared of like horror games.
Well, yeah, that's kind of a perk of starting with Dead Space is that you actually can fight back
Right,
against the creatures.
right. It was a very fun experience to go through, getting over being frightened, and eventually just sort of taking control of the game for yourself.
Right. For me, up until Dawn came out, um, because I was so like abstinent of anything horror genre related, I basically tried to stay away from as many horror games as possible. Um, the one exception to that was Amnesia was a PlayStation Plus download 1 month, and I downloaded Amnesia, and it was like, oh, PewDiePie played this, so this has to be like the most amazing game I've ever played ever.
Right.
Um, and goddamn, if I have not played a more boring game in my entire life.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: I have a lot I respect about Amnesia because like the sanity thing that it plays with, and the way in the puzzle aspects, they're smart puzzles for the most part. There are a lot of unsettling things you run from and hide from and things like that, but you know as like a 12-year-old kid, I was like, puzzles? I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I remember, I think I had you and Aaron over to my house one weekend, and you played like 2 hours worth of Amnesia, just solving puzzles left and right. And we didn't see the creature once.
No, I remember that experience. Exactly. I actually remember because I was about to bring it up. I remember exactly what you're talking about because I think you were expecting because I think I played a horror game at your house once and it was a really fun time because I think
What was it?
I don't remember what game we played. I don't even remember what the fuck you guys were talking about, but apparently it was really fun. So I think we wanted to replicate that with me playing Amnesia, but the
Right.
game. I think what made it because I forget, was it a pixel game?
Oh, it was Home. That's what it's called.
Was it?
Home was a 16 or like it was a pixel game. It was a
Right.
but it was I had it on my PS Vita. Um
Right.
and I think we might have played it on a bus ride um
Did we?
after a game
Oh shit.
because it's super short and like there's nothing actually scary about it other than the fact that the music is really ominous. It's a pretty dark story and then there's like sound scares.
Right. Yeah, I think we just kind of shat on it, and that's what made it kind of fun.
Right.
But then we played Amnesia, and there's nothing to even really, because nothing really happened, and so
Right.
I came because I haven't played Amnesia on my own. I came to the conclusion that maybe I'd have a better time if it was just like a solo experience.
Right.
It's a bit because like when you're with friends, it's not even scary. You're just kind of like doing shit.
Right. Well, I thought the same thing, and that's why last summer, actually, I tried to push through the main story, and I'd say I got like 2/3 of the way through it, and I put it down not because I was too scared, but because I was just like I was bored of the same thing in every area.
Hmm.
Because every single area is like, oh, you're gonna have to go find these different things to finish these puzzles in areas where each time you're going to find a monster. And we're going to give you next to no candles or matches to light candles. And we're going to give you next to no oil to spookify it. And, I grew tired of the repetition and monotony of it all. So, but I think
Yeah.
the horror game that kind of changed things for me was Until Dawn.
Would you classify that as a horror game?
I think so. I mean, it's more like a teen slashers horror movie,
All right, I guess you
but
can.
it has all the tropes of a horror movie.
Right. Well, because we were just
So,
talking about before how slasher is like even though it's not really scary, it's still like a
right.
subgenre of horror. So I guess we could say the same for Until Dawn.
And I some of the jump scares got me, and the biggest thing about it that I appreciated was the whole thing where you go in and talk to the like psychiatrist, and how
Hmm.
you answer his questions personalizes the scares to how you answered.
Right.
And sure, they're all jump scare related things, but what this ended up being was that, and this is one of my favorite memories I made at college last year, was my friends at college and I started doing this thing where every Friday we would all get together and just play like horror games. And our first game we played was Until Dawn, because one of my roommates had never played it before. So we like 8 of us packed in a tiny dorm room where you saw how small my dorm room was.
Extremely. For
Yeah.
for reference to everyone else, it's like a literally slightly bigger than a fucking closet.
So yeah, 8 of us smushed in there, sitting on chairs, the floor, just watching my roommate play through a horror or Until Dawn. And just so you know, he made awful decisions. I think he left with like 3 people alive.
Sick.
So like really poor decisions. He shot the one girl in the face. Um, God,
That's great.
yeah, just a lot of bad decisions. But and he the funniest thing was where you have it's Chris and Ashley, I believe, in the one part where like the saw blades coming down,
Yeah.
and you have to either shoot Ashley or yourself. Well, he was like going back and forth between it. He was just like, well, I don't want to die.
Nice.
Chose her. So like everyone, the best character in the game ends up getting killed because of that one action.
Wait, Ashley dies? I thought the gun wasn't filled with any actual
Well, no, no,
bullets.
no. Chris dies
Oh,
because if you decide to point the gun at Ashley, then she remembers that, and when you go to help the old guy beat the Wendigo, Chris will, he escapes the Wendigo and runs back towards the house. And if you had not chose to shoot Ashley, then she unlocks the door and lets you in. But if you chose to shoot Ashley, she locks it and watches as the
what a.
Wendigo kills you.
Oh my god, what a cold bitch. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Damn, dude.
So
I don't know. I'd say the best character in that game was probably Mike. He was a
is
fucking.
that the one who was played by you wouldn't know the actor name. I don't know why I'm even bringing that up to you. He was the one who you get his finger caught in the bear trap, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Did
The
you know
fucking
that
Chad.
that doesn't have to happen?
Yeah, I did.
I thought that was the thing that happens to everyone,
No,
but
you
then
just
but
have to
then
not
another one of
fucking
my
touch it.
yeah another one of my college friends was like, I never touch that when I play. Like I've played this a ton of times and I never touch it. I was just like, how? What do you mean you didn't touch it? Because I thought that was just. But I mean, to be fair, my exposure to Until Dawn was I watched like YouTubers played it, and all of them chose to check
Seriously.
it, and then I played it and chose to check it.
You dumbass.
I know, I know.
uh,
But in my mind, I was like, lost finger equals progression, so we're all good.
I watched the playthrough. I just watched like the perfect playthrough,
Right.
uh, and they just like walked past, and it's like, oh, that's pretty neat.
Well, that's cool. But what we played through. So we played through Until Dawn, Outlast, Outlast Whistleblower, and Outlast 2, I believe was what we played through
What
in our
would you?
time.
How would you rank those games
How
from
would I
best to
rank
worst?
them from best to worst?
No, worst to
um
best. Worst to best.
Worst to best, I would say.
Actually, no. I changed my mind again. Best to worst.
Okay, I'm gonna have to start taking notes on this one. You got me all lost. um okay, best to worst, and you're not changing it on me.
No, no.
No, no, don't say another word. I think Outlast 1 is the best of those four. I think I'm gonna go Outlast 1, Whistleblower, Until Dawn, Outlast 2.
Why the fuck is Until Dawn in there?
Well, because those were the four games. I thought you meant rank all four of them,
No,
not
no.
just
Like,
rank.
'cause well, I'm interested that Until Dawn was so low. Not surprised, but interested. But because like I
Well,
don't know.
you have to look at the quality of the scares and like what
Right,
what how often you were truly scared or like had a visceral reaction to something that happened in the game. And you know, Until Dawn's like watching a movie, but when you're
right,
playing the Outlast games, it's like you're in it.
right, right.
So
So I'm not surprised Outlast 2 is at the bottom because from what
yeah.
I've heard, that game's a fucking mess.
Well, you know what's sad was like, so we were like passing it around who played each game. So I was the one who played Outlast 2.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah, I know. um I still got scared. I still had some moments where I was just like, come on. Especially I think the one that got me the worst was it's like towards the very beginning you're going into the church or something like that, but you go through this underground or like this basement area and you have to crawl through this like little opening between two cages, and everyone else but me noticed that there was a guy in the cage I was crawling past. So I'm just crawling by, and because this is how the Outlast games are, he like sticks his hand out and rattles the cage, and I dropped the
Right.
controller. Like it got me so bad, I dropped the controller. Just like I can't do this, huh? Um, but no, like that game was just annoying more than it was like scary or anything like that.
Yeah. Because that last one had some pretty good stuff going on.
Yeah, Outlast 1 got me as a viewer. Like
Yeah.
I'm watching my roommate play it, and sure enough, I'm getting scared when he gets caught, and I'm like reacting when he's getting chased.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like immediate. It's like it doesn't pull any fucking punches.
Right?
And somehow it kind of makes it get worse as time goes on, as like you
Yeah.
start going through this shit.
And the only real problem with the Outlast games is there reaches a point in every single one where you just become desensitized
That
to
is
it.
true. Well, you can become desensitized, and it kind of becomes becomes kind of repetitive because it's the same gameplay loop every time.
Right.
You're just running around and hiding and doing the same thing.
But yeah, that was really fun. That was a fun experience. And they're making another Outlast game
Really?
that I believe is going to be co-op.
Okay, that doesn't. How the fuck? I always get a bit what's the word I'm looking for? Skeptical
Yeah.
when a horror game decides to go co-op. Happened with Dead Space 3, happened with Outlast 3. I don't know why the fuck the third game has to be this way.
I'm um cautiously optimistic that it would be good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure they're going back to another like asylum-esque setting. They're dropping the like foresty concept,
That's probably
which
for the
is already a
best.
plus.
But
So
part of the issue is I think that no one knew where the fuck to go.
yeah. But the people who made Until Dawn have made two more games
Yeah, I think
now.
they made Isle of Man was one of them.
It was Man of Medan.
Man of Medan.
Yeah. And the newest one is called Little Hope, I
I haven't heard of
believe.
that one.
It literally came out like yesterday. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
okay.
So, um, but they're rebranded now as Dark Pictures. Um,
Mhm.
and what they're all like anthology stories,
Right.
which I think kind of works for them. Like I want to play them just because I enjoyed a lot about Until Dawn because it was just kind of a fun story to experience.
Yeah, I didn't really play a lot of Until Dawn, but I think it was neat for what it was.
Mm-hmm. Well,
It
and I
was kind of
think it's
fun.
a fun thing to play like with a group of people
Definitely,
because
definitely.
playing it alone the first time was a good experience, and I don't know how many times I would want to play it again by myself. But playing with people who haven't played it before and kind of like reacting to things collectively and making those
Right.
decisions, and that's kind of a cool thing I think about it was Man of Medan was it kind of um what's what I'm looking for promoted this idea of you playing it with other people because it was like the intention was like if you wanted to play in group then like each person could choose to play one of the characters and
That's
make all
cool.
the decisions for that character.
That's actually pretty sick. I like that.
So
You should play fucking you could play Until Dawn like that.
yeah, you could honestly. That's kind of the thing with all these like the Quantic Dream games, like Detroit Become Human
Hmm.
and all that. That'd be an interesting way to play is get like,
Yeah,
get
that's
the
true.
boys together
That'd be
and
fucking fun.
yeah.
I'm super into that idea because you'd have somebody who's probably like
Oh, you'd have the dick of the group who's just
I
like, I'm making
let's
all the wrong
let's
decisions.
just be honest. That'd be
That's
me.
you. Yeah,
That's
that's you.
definitely me.
That's 100% you.
I I call being Connor.
I want you to be Connor, but get killed every available instant.
Hell yeah. That sounds fun though. Damn.
Have I talked to you about the fact that I played Detroit Become Human recently?
I think you mentioned it,
Like,
but I don't
like I
think
think it
we
was this summer was the first time I played it.
right. I think you mentioned it. I think you said you liked it, but I don't think we ever really talked about it.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I thought it was good because I've played all three of the like big Quantic Dream games. So Heavy
Right.
Rain, Beyond Two
Heavy
Souls,
Rain
and
was really good. I liked Heavy Rain.
yeah, Heavy Rain was probably the best of the three in terms of story.
Yeah.
So,
I love that and it had a great I think it had a great twist too.
yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be my recommended. I'm just getting that out of the way now.
What Heavy Rain?
Yeah, play Heavy Rain.
Play Heavy Rain, yeah.
uh, this has nothing to do with Halloween, but I have been watching like a shit ton of Kitchen Nightmares recently.
Listen, Kitchen Nightmares is one of the easiest shows to go back to at any time. Just sit
I'm
down and
just
slap it on.
I just saw like one clip on YouTube and then all of a sudden just didn't fucking stop. God
It's
damn.
one of Rach and I's favorite shows. I
It's so
mean,
good to watch. It's so
yeah.
fun. Gordon Ramsay's just like he's a great chef and an even greater entertainer.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, watching him just absolutely shit on people
Like
is,
it's like, and he's always a pattern too. He walks in, he's like, is this fresh? Is
yeah,
this fresh? It's like, no. It's like, you fucking donkey.
yeah. I like when he takes a bite of something and he's just pushes away and is like, that was microwaved. I
Yeah,
know it.
yeah.
It was microwaved.
Well, he always says like he pushes like dreadful.
Yeah.
Tastes like cat. Tastes like cat food.
Have you
Uh,
seen the Meat Canyon thing about Kitchen Nightmares where he's
it's
I think it's
piss.
Meat Canyon. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
piss with like shit right in the middle of the plate, and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"This is delicious. This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever put in my mouth."
Have you seen Hotel Hell?
Yes, listen, I've seen clips and episodes of like all of his
Which one's your favorite?
shows.
Do you like Kitchen Nightmares, British Kitchen Nightmares, or Hotel
Okay,
Hell?
I don't like British Kitchen Nightmares, and
You
I'll tell you
don't.
why. I'll tell you why.
Okay,
It's just because it's drawn out more. I kind
okay.
of like the American highlight style of it.
I I I think there's good in both of them. I too like the American, like where it's all so fucking because and the American version is so it's like high action, high
Yeah,
octane.
yeah, it's high
Oh,
octane. That's the best way to put it.
but the
Balls to the
British,
wall.
yeah, but the British version I like because it feels like almost more genuine.
If
Like
yeah, it feels more real
because
to watch it.
Gordon's doing the narrating himself. You get to see him actually like kind of go into detail with his criticisms of the food.
Right.
It's pretty interesting. I don't like the fan base for the British Kitchen Nightmares because I go into the comments and it's literally just people saying like I prefer the British version over the American version. It's so much. Oh my God, the American version's so fucking. It's so fucking lame.
It's like JoJo fans who say, I read the manga, so I'm
Pretty much.
superior.
Pretty much. It's like, come on. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're big brained. Uh, Hotel Hell's fun too, though.
I think Hotel Hell might be my favorite,
I think that might be
honestly.
my favorite too.
Because you still get the kitchen nightmare stuff because he'll eat the food at the restaurant,
Yeah.
but then also like come on when he takes like a black light onto the bed
Oh
and you
my
see that it's
God,
covered
yes.
in
In
like
Seaman.
yeah,
This guy Seaman. That was the alcoholic guy, right?
it's happened on multiple episodes.
What? I didn't know.
Yeah,
I've only seen the clip of where he did it with this guy owner who was basically an alcoholic.
listen, there's this episode, you can find the full episode on YouTube. And what it is that he goes to this one hotel where um these two guys own it, I'm pretty sure, and it's full of like all these antiques in quotation marks, what they think are priceless antiques.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And
Yeah,
it's worth nothing.
yeah. And that whole one is insane.
But that's the guy who steals his workers' tips.
Yeah, yeah. Same
Fucking
guy.
asshole. I like the
Um,
one where he helps this crab shake this like crab something in, and the guy, the owner, is just this fucking limp fish who dresses like a goddamn tennis ball boy every day, and so he's so like a non-person that
mhm,
Gordon Ramsay literally has to like lead him by the hand and like he fucking to show it like taking to show him like what's wrong,
right.
and the episode ends when a bad dish has come back and he takes it to the owner. He's like, what's wrong with this? He's like, it's undercooked. It's like, and so he grabs a waitress. He's like, what is wrong with this chicken? And she's like, oh, it's dry. It's a bit burnt. And he grabs another waitress and he's like, what's wrong with this dish? She's like, oh, it looks really dry. And she's like, I'm not even a cook. And he's like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. He gives him the plate, picks up his hand and shakes it. He's like, I'm gonna go because what you just said was the worst thing you could have said to me all week. That
Yeah,
chicken is dry and burnt, and you said it was raw. Goodbye. And he leaves, and the guy has the plate, and and it ends with him walking over to the trash can, and then awkwardly looking away, and then going back into the kitchen with the plate, and then standing there awkwardly, and then it ends.
yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
I think one of my favorite things that happens on Kitchen Nightmares, and it may have happened in Hotel Hell, I'm not sure, but is when he eats something that's bad and the cook or the owner is like, "Oh no, it's good," and he's like, "Okay, you sit down and eat it then. Like here's the fork, here's the knife. You eat this."
I love the parts of the wait where the waiters and waitresses basically shit on it with him.
Yeah, They're like, "Oh, this is an open mic. You're just giving us the floor real quick. I'll take it."
Well, what I thought was really funny is one hotel hell, the waitress literally comes in and she not only like shits on the food and the owner, she's like, "Oh, by the way, the owner was arrested yesterday," and she brings out this fucking newspaper she just has. It's like, here you go. It's like, what?
Have you seen? There's one episode of Kitchen Nightmares where it's like a soul food restaurant, and like there's a moment where the only thing Gordon likes is the dessert, and he like hugs the grandma
Yeah.
of the place, but where the guy accuses Gordon of planting a rat.
Yes, I
Yeah,
saw that.
like how do you invite Gordon Ramsay into your restaurant and
Well,
then be like, did you plant this for views?
here's the thing. I mean, maybe. Listen, I don't want to say he did do it, but I could.
Evan,
I
come
I'm just
on.
I'm just saying.
Do not take the side of this soul food
I'm
restaurant.
not
They
saying
just had a rat problem.
there's no
They even talk
evidence.
about it in the episode how they had someone spray.
I'm just saying. I mean, listen. I'm
Gordon
just
woke up that morning and was like, "Who's bringing me the rat?
I've
Who's going to
always
Mocha Pit getting
I've
the
always
rat?"
questioned if like maybe they might, I don't know, maybe sometimes they might plant some stuff to hype up,
No.
because I've seen some stuff on Kitchen Nightmares and Hotel Hell which seems pretty fake, and I
But
just like
that's the thing is they choose these places because they are that bad.
yeah,
They
that's true.
definitely send a scout team ahead of time to be like, "Is this place actually that bad?"
It is. And they have to confirm that they've got like a rap problem, so it's like,
Right, right.
but I mean, if we're talking about if Gordon Ramsay or Kitchen Nightmares in general ever fakes some stuff for their show, I don't know. I could see it.
I mean, they're going to do things to get the views, but I think I'm going to say 95% of what we see on it is
Well, sure. Well,
real.
because some of that stuff you can't even fake,
Right.
like
Well,
their
moments where
fridge.
like he opens the fridge and like
That's
peels back
literally
the lining and there's
that's
cockroaches
yeah.
running.
That's literally what I was about to say. Like when he goes in that fridge and like he sees all this shit, like there's no faking that.
Right.
Like how dirty everything is. It's like you can't. These places suck for real.
Now, do you like Hell's Kitchen? Do you
I enjoy it. I don't. I think I prefer the Kitchen Nightmares side,
Yeah.
but I do. Yeah, I enjoy Hell's Kitchen.
Well, I'll tell you I think the main thing I don't care for about Hell's Kitchen is just the fact that like the competition aspect of it, because I just like watching dinner services like that, and
Yeah.
maybe it's just because like I'm like an aspiring cook in a lot of ways, like always wanting to like expand my cookbook of recipes, but
I don't know if Kitchen Nightmares and Hell's Kitchen is where you want to go to find
yeah.
good
I don't
food.
know. It's the whole reason I have Gordon Ramsay's cookbook,
Yeah.
or one of his cookbooks. Yeah, I am now a pretty solid risotto maker. I gotta say.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Can you
make.
make me some scallops?
I haven't tried yet, but I could. I have his recipe for homemade scallops.
Sick.
So, but I make mean tomato risotto, like kind of a pro now.
Wow. What, dude? That's fucking legendary. Can you? Actually, that reminds me. The fact that you said you Ramsay's cookbook reminds me of an episode on the British Kitchen Nightmares where this guy basically stole one of Ramsay's
I've
recipes and
seen
he,
this clip. I've seen this
yeah,
clip.
and
Yeah.
he makes it for Ramsay and he thinks it's bad. And as the waiter goes back, he asks, like, "Can you ask the chef where he got the idea for the scallops?" Goes back inside. The waiter asks him, and the chef's like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
I think that's the same episode where the chef locks Ramsay out of his restaurant while he cries.
Oh, there you go.
Pretty sick because he's the same age as Ramsay and he like could have been really successful, but he just didn't. He just failed spectacularly.
Well, damn, that's sad.
It is kind of sad.
F's in the chat for that, man. God. You know what else deserves some F's in the chat? And you brought this up before we started recording is Cyberpunk getting
I,
delayed
I know, I
again.
know. Again, man, when's it coming out now? November something?
It's December 10th now. Or
Fuck,
yeah, yeah.
fuck, man.
I'll tell you what's really sad about it is that on Twitter, I think it was like a month ago when they delayed it that time, they had put on like, "A no more delays now. We
I know.
promise." And it even like the game even went gold, which I don't really know what that means, but what I do know is that if it goes gold, that means it's not getting delayed. And then
Yeah.
they delayed it.
I mean, like, imagine some of the, because, like, I'm interested for Cyberpunk to come out, but I wouldn't say I'm like one of those people who's really super looking. I'm looking forward more to like the Demon Souls remake, which
Right.
I'm fucking psyched for after seeing some shit that came out about that.
Mm-hmm.
But but not as, but I'm more excited for that than the Cyberpunk. But some of these people have been waiting for like what is it, 8 years or some shit
Yeah.
for this game to come out. That must
Well,
suck.
because what is CD Project Red? They're the
Yep.
ones doing it. Yeah. Because I think Dylan was telling me that they've shortened the story from what it was going to be to try and get the
Really.
game out sooner. I don't know.
Do you
I
think it's
want to be like, oh, that like it's gonna come out and still be fantastic, and everyone's gonna be like, the wait was worth it. But I don't know if I was exactly hooked on wanting to get it anyways beforehand. So
right?
you
You
know,
think you think it might not be as good as people think it's going to be when it comes out because of all these like corners they have to cut just to get it released?
and maybe I think the biggest thing for me about it is that if they can actually execute everything they're promising with this game, then like I feel like I will get it and I will want to experience it. But they've said they're going to do so much because there's going to be, you can make different choices that impact the story. You can kill off characters which will completely alter side storylines and main quest storylines and stuff like that. Like they're truly trying to make it as much like a tabletop game as they can. But the thing is like as much as you want that, you can't ever truly make a video game that's as comprehensive as like Dungeons and Dragons
Right.
is,
Well,
or
because part
something
of the
like that.
reason, the only reason Dungeons and Dragons works is because you don't have to fucking worry about that shit. All you got to do is
Exactly.
write it down, and then you just talk about it.
Because I mean, something that may seem small that they took out, but to me is kind of a big indicator of where the game is trending, is that they were going to have wall running be a thing you could do,
Hmm.
and they had to remove that mechanic
Oh, that
from the
sucks.
game. And like, I think most people would just be like how you just were like, oh, that sucks. That's just too bad. But to me, that's like, like I think that just proves the point that like maybe they're biting off a little more than they can chew.
Right. That might be true. I mean, uh, I feel like a lot of the time, game companies, because it sounds like to me, when that sort of thing happens, like they don't really have a comprehensive plan
Right.
for how this game is actually going to get made, and they just kind of throw a bunch of shit. I could see that a worry I might have is that it comes out and it's a bit of a mess with no real direction in terms of gameplay or story, if
Right.
that makes any sense.
I think it could end up being like when No Man's Sky came out, and everyone had hyped up No Man's Sky so much, and then
Yep,
it was just like it didn't actually get good until like this year. Like they've
exactly.
they've finally got it where it's supposed to be.
Right.
And I kind of feel like that's where we could end up seeing Cyberpunk
It's possible.
rest.
Yeah. It's possible. I mean, it sounds like at this point that's kind of what they're going to be doing in terms of like, because if they have to shorten the story just to get it out. I could see them having to work later and just release the rest as like DLC or some shit.
Right.
And it might be how it be.
And I mean, hey, at least it has Keanu Reeves. I mean, it's got that going for it.
That's a big plus.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I will be very curious to see the reviews. And obviously, we know people who are going to get the game, so we'll know
Yeah.
pretty quickly whether or not it's actually good. But like,
What the
to
fuck?
me, there's just better games kind of on my radar right now.
Yeah. Sorry, I just found a fucking article that says why Demon Souls remake is already disappointing some fans. Who the fuck who the fuck is disappointed? Have you seen that shit? Who the fuck's disappointed with the Demon Souls? Now,
Right.
I haven't played Demon Souls before because I never got the chance to, but it looks pretty fucking sick.
Well, listen, as someone who is pretty vocal about the fact that they don't really care for the Dark Souls experience they've had, even I'm like, I kind of want Demon Souls.
It looks good, man.
Yeah.
It looks real good. The graphical upgrade, like that's what the Dark Souls remake should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%. They should have finished because I think they're even adding some stuff like some actual like yeah, they're actually adding like a new area to
Oh
it.
wow.
To Demon Souls, yeah. Like they and that's what Dark Souls should have been because they made the Dark Souls remaster and it was basically fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the same game for like a new generation. And they should have upgraded the graphics like they just did with Demon Souls, and they should have finished. There's this if you don't know, in Dark Souls, there's this famous area called Lost Izalith, which is infamous for not being finished by the developers. It's just
Mm-hmm.
literally not done, and you can tell. Because it's compared to all the other because the end game has like four big areas you have to go through, and Lost Izalith is the shortest by a large degree and is filled with with enemies you fought before.
Hmm.
It's rather and the boss is fucking terrible. So like the fact that they're actually like doing shit with Demon Souls is so much of like so much better treatment than what I was expecting.
Right.
It's when
You you know, I've seen online that people are complaining, kind of in a similar vein to like with the Dark Souls remastered with Super Mario 3D All Stars,
I could see that, yeah.
because I mean they're literally just like emulators, but on a game cartridge for the Switch. You know, I think the
Yeah.
only thing that's not a direct emulator is Galaxy, and I forget what it's called, but it's something close to just like a straight emulator of it, because they just had to fix something so that you could use your um, like Switch Joy Cons as the motion controls. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but like who was anyone really wanting to do a lot with with the games in All
That's what
Stars?
I'm thinking every time I read someone being like, "Oh, why didn't they do more with Super Mario 3D All Stars?" Like, it's not just getting those games enough. Like it's different when we're talking about like with Dark Souls Remastered, how you just talked about that whole area that's basically not finished. Like
Yeah.
that's an opportunity for a second chance to fix that. And
Right.
the only thing I can think of with the Mario games that deserves that treatment is fixing all the bugs in Sunshine. But I could take a whole episode, and complain about Sunshine's bugs.
Damn.
Beside the
When I,
point.
here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play Sunshine, love the shit out of it, and then we're gonna have an episode where we just argue about Sunshine's quality.
Hey, I liked Sunshine a lot,
I don't believe you.
but I'm never gonna play it again.
Yeah, exactly. I don't fucking believe you.
You know, why would I play it again when I have Galaxy? Okay?
Galaxy's really good.
Yeah. Galaxy's God, that game's good.
It's really good.
God.
I didn't fucking know. Does Demon Souls release the same day as the PS5?
Yeah, it's a you can buy a PS5 bundle that's Demon Souls,
Oh my
Spider-Man, and
fucking
the PS5.
god. Dude. Oh my fucking god.
That's kind of what I'm thinking I'm getting is the bundle.
Oh my god, that's fucking crazy. That's such a good deal. Well, not
Yeah.
a good deal, but like I don't know, because it depends on how expensive it is. But
Well, it's I mean, it's basically the same price as getting the console and buying the two games separately,
oh
except you
my
just get them all at once.
god,
You know,
I
I mean,
really
come on,
want it.
Sony's not that good.
I
Like,
oh my god, I really want it. Oh Jesus,
and then you got to think also you got all the free games that come with the if you have a PS Plus,
what free games do
which
you get? Oh god, is this
I'm
turning
gonna
into a
look up the
Sony ad?
list. I'm gonna look up the list real quick
Oh
for you.
god, I promise we're not bought out by Sony.
Listen, guys, we're not sponsored yet, but Sony, if you're listening,
I'm just yeah. Listen, we're not sponsored. I'm just a fucking huge From
I'm
Software
just a
addict.
shill.
I'm just a huge addict for From Software games. I can't. I need my fix.
Okay, wait, because two games were actually added to the list of free games you get recently. So I gotta find it. I gotta find it. Evan Stall, say
Okay, well,
something great.
Okay, I'll talk about my feelings about Demon Souls because I haven't played. That's the only From Software game I haven't played yet. Well, at least
Okay, never mind. You know what? It's okay. It's
what the
okay.
f-
We'll just rein this back in.
Zach, you get the fuck off. I'm gonna talk about this shit. So it's the only one I haven't played, and I'm interested because I actually I've heard that some people whose opinions I actually respect, say that it's better than Dark Souls, which currently is like my favorite of the current
Right.
uh, uh, series they have. Like, let's see, it's Dark Souls, then Sekiro's in second place. Sekiro's a fantastic fucking game. Third would be third kind of fluctuates a bit because I'm not really sure
Right.
what the third would be. It's either maybe Bloodborne, but yeah, so third and fourth is somewhere like somewhere between Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
And then last place in the pit is Dark Souls 2, the shittiest one of the
You know,
series.
I'm not all that surprised that Bloodborne falls so low for you because I think the from every time you talk about like Sekiro and the Dark Souls games, I think you prefer the more defensive style of combat.
I think that's probably true. I like sort of because Bloodborne is so you have to dodge and you have to really get in that. You have to really get in everyone's face and shit.
You got to be in the mindset for it.
Yeah, well, and I prefer, and it's really this fast-paced gameplay. I've always preferred the style. If I'm playing Dark Souls, I like to kind of do like heavy. I like to get heavy weapons and really fuck shit up that way.
Yeah,
And if I'm playing Sekiro, what's fun about that is that you have to, yeah, you kind of have to play defensively to a degree. It's all about timing and precision, and I really like that. It's really cool. Uh, yeah, so I don't know, but Bloodborne though, what I like about Bloodborne, because Bloodborne's still really fun, and I love Bloodborne's world. I adore it. This
hmm
Lovecraftian sort of nightmare thing. Oh, it's great. I love just exploring it and learning about it.
right.
Uh, Dark Souls 3, and that kind of the thing about why it sometimes beats out Dark Souls 3 is that Dark Souls 3 seems a bit, I mean, it's cool and it's fun, but it also feels a bit done before.
Yeah,
Like it can't escape Dark Souls, the first game,
I
in a
kind of get
way.
that vibe when I've seen gameplay of Dark Souls
Right.
3. That it like it's not like not that it's bad, but it's not necessarily anything special.
Exactly. And it's really good. The gameplay's really fun. I think the world is what kind of ends up kind of bringing it down a bit in the story. It's interesting, but not as engaging as the
Right.
others in the series. And Dark Souls 2 is just absolute dog shit and fucking terrible.
Okay, I do have this full list of 20 games you get for free for the PS5 if you have
Okay,
PS Plus.
tell me.
So you get Bloodborne, so number 3 or 4 on your list. Um, you get Days Gone, which I feel like I'm probably gonna try, but not really care for all that much because that's the zombie game. If you don't know, where you like are
Right.
constantly trailed by
Yeah.
a horde of zombies.
Yeah.
You get Detroit Become Human, which I've already played, so I don't necessarily know if I'll play it again. God of War. Listen, you need to play God of War.
Which one is
That's
that? The fourth one
the
or the
newest one. Yeah.
I feel like I need to play the others first though.
No, you don't. Here's what you
I
need to
feel like I
do.
do.
Trust me. Just all you really need to do is you can just watch a video or
I really
read
no,
a
I
quick summary.
refuse.
Evan,
I refuse. I
listen.
can't do that.
Because here's the
I can't
thing.
do it that way.
No, here's the thing though. God of War, the new one, is so different from all the other God of War
I know.
games that
All right, I don't care though. I have to play it
okay,
in
well
order,
then here's the
or else
thing.
the because how can I enjoy? How can I really fucking appreciate it if I can't if I haven't been with it the whole way?
Because they do just the right amount of things to make it welcoming to new players to the franchise. That's kind of like the whole thing about it is it being so different is like a new starting off point for that franchise.
I'll think about it.
Okay, well just know that they're probably not going to make the other God of War games for the PS5. They're not going to remaster them. I don't even know if they did a God of War remastered for PS4.
They
So,
did a God of War 3 remastered for the PS4.
but did they do the other ones?
I don't know. Hey, let
Yeah.
me check. Let me see. If they didn't, what was God of War 1 released for?
Um, PS2, I think.
Shit.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, that's fine. I could play it on
and
PS2. I got
there
an emulator
there
for that.
there are also PSP games in that mix. Because here's the
Dude, that's
thing,
fine.
there's
I'll get all.
like there's like 7 God of War games or something like that before than this newest one. So there is
But
no
dude, that's
way.
fine.
I mean, listen, you do you.
I've
I didn't feel like I wanted the like true hack and slash like those were, and that's not to say that this new God of War is necessarily different from a hack and slash, because I mean it's still a God of War game at its core, but in terms of what it tells in its story, in what it does, in the collectibles you search for, and puzzle things, like
sure. Well, I think I'll. It seems like because I have God of War 3 for the PS4, and I have never touched it, and God of War 1 and 2 are both for PS2, which I have an emulator for that, so I could probably play that.
yeah,
If I can do it, I'd rather play through the story just so I can really appreciate what God of War 4 is.
yeah. I mean, I can respect that, but I'm just you don't need it. I'll just say that.
I know. Well,
Um,
tell that to the audience. You don't need if you want to
yeah,
play
yeah.
God of War 4. Did that one Game of the Year? Did Red Dead Redemption?
I think God of War won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
It
See,
it because it actually beat out Breath of the Wild. I think.
damn.
Yeah, because I think the Game Awards that year were Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, God of War, and something else. And God of War won.
What did Super Mario Odyssey win?
I think it won things for. I'd have to look it up. It was.
Easiest game of 2019.
Yeah, that's what it was. Um, but what else we got? We got Infamous Second Son. I'll probably replay
Nice,
that
nice.
just for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah,
Ratchet and Clank, which I'm going to play because I'm going to get the new one. Um, The Last Guardian, which I'm never going to touch ever.
I actually have that game.
Yeah.
I've never played. I've never played it.
Um, my older sister got it and she hated it, and I watched her play and was just
I
like, this game is not. It does not work how
I
it's
played
supposed
it.
to.
I played it for a sec. I just kind of got bored. I was expecting something along the lines of Shadow of the Colossus because
Right.
that's same people who made it. And Shadow of the Colossus is sick as shit.
Well, it's connected to Shadow of the
You're
Colossus.
right, but it ended up being more like their first game, Eco,
Yeah.
which I wasn't as big as a fan of.
Let's see what else we got. The Last of Us remastered, which is an obvious choice. Until Dawn, relevant to this episode of the podcast. Uncharted 4, Thief's End, a masterpiece of a video game, if I do say so myself. Um, Batman Arkham Knight, it's a
Okay,
good game. It's a good
yeah,
game.
solid.
Yeah, Battlefield 1, it's okay. It's like, I might play it. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, The Zombie Chronicles. I probably will play that. Because, anyone who gets a PS5 and is just and has PS Plus and has access to that, like, come on, getting the boys together
Yep,
to play zombies.
some
I mean,
zombies.
yeah.
I'll play
Um,
just to understand the zombies lore. That's
exactly.
even possible.
This is one of the new additions, the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy.
Oh, nice.
So I'll probably play that. I actually haven't played a Crash Bandicoot game.
Yeah, I think that's a good place.
So
That's a good place to start. The
uh
classics.
Fallout 4,
Ew.
which I mean maybe I'll give it a second chance. Maybe. That'd be like
Yeah.
um
Does it
Final
have all the DLC with it?
I don't know. It doesn't say it's any certain edition.
I see.
It has Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, which I'll probably give that a chance. This will be a big one for you. It has Monster Hunter World.
Seriously,
Yeah, for free.
that's dude, that's sick.
So maybe
Damn.
maybe I'll give Monster Hunter a second chance.
If you
I'll
what
finally get there.
you've never played World before, have you?
No,
I think you'll like. I
you're
think you
gonna
should give
guide
World a
me. You're
shot.
gonna take me by the hand and guide me through Monster Hunter.
Well, I think you could. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with World. For one thing, I think it is a bit more. Yeah, I don't want to say noob friendly, but I think you might enjoy it more than
Right.
the other one you played. And second thing is, I think we can actually play together on that
Yeah.
one because if I get a PS5, you get a PS5. It'll be
There we
fun.
go.
I'll have good internet too, so it won't be
Hey.
totally.
Let's see. Mortal Kombat X, which is like that's solid. That's fun if like people are over. It's a
Yeah,
fun thing
yeah.
to do.
It'll be fun to
Uh,
school you guys.
yeah. Persona 5, but I have Royal, so
Right.
and Resident Evil 7.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, so that's a really solid list of
It's
games.
it's kind of got everything for everyone.
Yeah,
So
I'm
that's
pretty happy with
that's
that.
it's a really good selection.
Yeah, it's a really good selection, and you know what, Evan? This is the end of a really good episode.
Oh, is it? I wanted to
Yeah,
talk more. I was
I'm.
gonna talk about. I was gonna because you mentioned Fallout 4. I was gonna talk about the Fallout 4 New Vegas mod.
You know what? We'll help out our longer viewers. We'll add this Fallout conversation, and then we'll end.
All right, sick. Well, there's not much of a convo. I just wanted to mention that I didn't know before, but apparently they're making a mod for Fallout 4 that is basically just New Vegas, just the entire fucking New Vegas game, which I'm so for it. I'm there.
What is that going to be? I'm guessing just for people who played on PC. That's
Yeah,
actually,
basically.
I think people who had Fallout 4 for Xbox could mod it. I think that was an
Yeah,
option.
maybe. But I'm so for this because it basically adds the objectively superior Fallout 4 gunplay and gameplay and graphics, but makes the RPG aspect actually good this time,
Right.
which is sick.
That's what
So
matters.
that is what matters in the end. That was really it. So we can end.
Okay. Um. So is your recommendation of the week Heavy Rain? You sticking with it?
Yeah, sure. Actually, no. Fuck it. I'll say my recommendation this week is play Fallout New Vegas. Sick. The sick game.
My recommendation for the week will be for everyone to go watch the first episode of The Mandalorian, which I mean, season two, the first episode of season two just aired.
All right.
Yesterday. So
We didn't even talk about that.
I know. Well, we got into Halloween and Kitchen Nightmares, so
Yeah,
when the important topics come up, we got to address those.
that's true. That's true. Well, thanks for everyone for tuning in today and making some time for the boys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and catch us next week.
Oh yeah.